Susan.
Okie dokie.
Hi, I'm Susan. I appreciate you coming back in and talking. With us. You already have a water? Is there anything else we can get for you right now?
That's fine.
You're doing okay? All right, very good. Again, if you
Yes.
remember Detective Stiff, this is Detective
I'm
Pender.
Detective Pender. I haven't got a chance to meet you yet, but I'm looking forward to be able to speak with you. I work with Detective Stiff. We work together. I was learning different things. So anyways, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let him cover what he needs to, and then I'll get a chance to meet you then, okay?
Okay.
So, Susan, obviously when we spoke the other night, it was kind of a lot of things going on still. A lot of the pieces of what happened were still trying to be put together. Since then, we've obviously talked to a lot more witnesses who were there. We've gained access to some video from around the area of where your complex is located. So during those interviews, during that process of obtaining new stuff, obviously it brings new questions that we wanted to kind of cover with you, try to verify some of the stuff you said, as well as clarify things that we don't quite understand. So I was hoping that we could do that today. Obviously, just like last time, I want to make sure that you understand your rights and everything. So before we get started, I just have to read you the same thing I did last time. Yes. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer with him, have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights, not answer any questions, or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you? Okay. And having those rights in mind, you willing to talk to us now?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, we've talked to a bunch of other people since then. Has there been anything that you've thought of since you and I have last talked, in person at least, that you can remember that maybe at the time, because there was a lot of emotions and,
I don't know what else I could tell you, honestly.
Okay. So nothing that happened that night that you didn't remember at the time, or you just, like I said, there was a lot going on that you maybe didn't think to
I
say.
don't know what to tell you because I thought I told you everything.
Okay, all right. So some of the things, like I said, we were just trying to clarify because we were in the room together for a while talking, and we went over a lot of different things. So one of the things I wanted to clarify with you is, and try to understand better, is when Ajike was at the door, when she approached the door, when was it that you realized that it was her coming to the door?
Because I said, who's there?
Okay, how did you know someone was there initially? Was it
There
because...
was a huge banging.
Okay.
Just pounding at that door.
Okay. So initially, there was no words, it was just the pounding?
Yeah.
That's what started
Yes.
the interaction there?
Yes.
And where was the pounding at initially, where it first began?
The front door.
At the front door?
Yes.
Okay. How many times did she was it just like
It was,
one or
no,
was
no,
it
no. It was
several?
just bang, bang, bang.
Okay.
Bang.
All right. And then you said
Who's
you asked her
there?
who's
Yeah.
there? Okay. And what was said then?
I think she said, why do you speak to my children this way? And I said, listen, I'm not going to speak to you. Go away. If she had a problem, she should have called you guys.
Okay.
Honestly. I mean, if she really thought there was something seriously wrong, I don't understand why she just came over and just started pounding on my door and, screaming and yelling. So.
And then what happened after you said to go away?
Go away, and then it got quiet for a bit, and then she started really banging, just pounding on that door. She was relentless.
How long is a bit, would you say?
I don't know,
Like
because
5-10 seconds or 2 minutes? Or?
It was an extended period of time, probably 20 to 30 seconds, easily.
But during that time, you didn't hear anything else? Did you think she went away?
No, well, I obviously knew she didn't go away because she was screaming while she was pounding.
Describe that. When you say screaming, describe what does that mean?
She was just, you're not supposed to speak to my children this way. Why did you, and then she was saying, I'm going to kill you. And I'm like, holy shit, and that's when
Well, when you said there was like the initial barrage of the pounding, and you said, who's there? And she said, what you said about not talking to her children that way.
Yeah.
And then you said it got quiet. So there was no banging, there was no words being
No,
said.
because I thought she went away.
That's what I was asking, basically. I'm sorry if I...
No, it's okay. I thought, all right, she's just gonna do whatever she wants to do.
And you said that was like 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And then did she start yelling again first, or was there more banging?
It was banging, it was yelling. I thought she was just gonna break down the door.
Okay.
So, I mean, my heart was pounding, and I was like, she's really gonna kill me.
Okay,
That's all I felt.
When she first came up and where were you when she started the beating?
I was
the
in the
very first
bathroom.
time? You were in the bathroom
Yeah.
when she started beating?
Yeah.
And did you come to the door?
Well, I was approaching the door, and then she started screaming, and I knew who it was. And I
Okay.
said, that's it, I'm not opening this door.
Okay.
Because I figured if she came in, she would just absolutely pound me into the ground.
All right. And then when it became silent, after that first round of beating on your door, where were you at then? Did you go?
And I went to wash my hands, honestly,
Okay.
because I didn't know who was at the door, and I wanted to know, and then I was like,
Okay.
so I went back and washed my hands.
Okay. So that's during the time where it was kind of quiet, and
Yes.
you thought that maybe she went away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when the banging and the yelling started again, where were you at then?
I think I was in the kitchen.
Okay. All right. And then what happened?
And then she just kept banging and yelling, like, you need to leave, you're trespassing, get off my porch, get out of here, I'm not talking to you, leave.
Okay. Who else was outside the door besides
I have no
Ajike?
idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
Where were the other kids? Because I know the kids had been over there prior to her coming over.
Yeah,
Or?
they were right by the, where the fence is, and then there's a sidewalk. They were right
Yeah.
beyond that sidewalk, inside where it's supposed to be no trespassing.
Okay, so they were outside of the fence while she was banging on the door?
I have no idea.
Oh, you're not sure?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
You asked me when the kids were there earlier.
Right.
So, and the kids finally, I went inside. I figured they left.
So you didn't know who else was out there
No.
at that time?
No.
Okay. So you went to the kitchen and she was still pounding on the door
Pounding
and
on the door.
yelling? And I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but I want to make sure, now we're getting more like in order of things, because the first time we talked, it was kind of just like, it all came out all at once. And now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of think about things that happened again and try to get it in a good order that things happen, because it's very important to be able to say, okay, this happened first, this is what happened next, so that we don't get them confused or anything.
Okay.
So after that initial silence where, I wouldn't say silence, but it got quiet, you were washing your hands in the bathroom, and then the pounding and the yelling started again, and you went to the kitchen. What were you doing in the kitchen? Just,
I was looking for my phone.
okay,
So I put my phone down somewhere, and I started panicking, and I started searching for the phone. And then she just kept banging and banging and banging. I'm going to kill you, get out of here. And I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I mean, I was in the kitchen. There's the sliders, and the sliders always locked. And just that one door, so there's no escape.
Okay.
I couldn't leave. I couldn't get out of there. I was like, Jesus Christ. And she was pounding so hard. The mirror on my wall was shaking.
okay. So that first, I'm sorry to go back, but that first time that she pounds on the door, how long do you think that lasted before there was kind of the silence? I know you said she hit the door, you said, who's there? And that what was it said?
Probably 5-10 seconds she was pounding the first time.
Okay. And then when it started again, how long, and I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit, but we'll kind of come back. When she started pounding on the door again and saying all that stuff to the point where you fired the gun, how long do you think that lasted?
2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes.
I don't
Oh,
know. It just
wow.
everything's kind of. It was a while. I mean, it was a while. And I kept thinking, okay, you guys are going to show up, because I had called earlier, and no one was coming. No one was coming. I'm like, shit. Couldn't find my phone, and she was just banging and banging, screaming at me, telling me, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm like, she's really going to kill me this time. That's all I kept thinking. She's really going to come in this house and kill me.
Okay. When did you find your phone? At what point?
After I shot her. I just started searching the house frantically until I found it, and I wanted to make sure that I called and said, I shot, because I heard her go, ugh.
So where was your phone?
I think it was in my computer room.
In the computer room? Okay.
So, let me just understand this a little better, because I'm not really sure. So, the woman that got shot, what is her name?
AJ.
AJ. Right, it's AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you known her?
I really didn't know her. I just, she was a neighbor across the street.
Okay, so how long has she been a neighbor across the street from you? Help me understand that.
A year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, year and a half and 2 years. And in that year and a half and 2 years, how many times have you guys been able to talk?
We've never talked, it's more like screaming.
No, okay, all right. So maybe better would be communicate. How many times have you guys been able to communicate in that year and a half or 2 years?
2, 3 times.
2 or 3 times. And in those 2 or 3 times over a year and a half and 2 years, what were you guys screaming about? What were you guys communicating about?
She would take her dog and walk it on my sidewalk to make sure it's shit on the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, of all the places you can walk and take your animal, you're gonna come here. And she
Sure.
said, it's the only place my dog will go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm
So-
like, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so you guys would have a disagreement regarding that, some screaming regarding the dog pooping where it shouldn't. What else would you guys communicate about in that 2 or 3 times?
Then one time, she was talking to the neighbors, and she said, oh, that bitch over there was crazy. And I went, no, I'm not gonna, sorry. I walked over, I said, what is your problem? And she just went on a tirade. I have never heard someone scream like this woman. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, she exploded, and I'm like, oh, shit.
How long ago was that?
2 months ago.
2 months?
2 to 3 months ago. And then she was saying I called her kids all kinds of names, and I'm like, no, I didn't. And the more I said no, the more irate she got. Finally, I'm like, you know what, let me just back off, say yes, I'll apologize, and scurry away.
What kind of things was she saying that you called her kids?
That I called them racial slurs, that I called them slaves, and that's never happened. I mean, when she said, I'm like, what are you, stop already, stop lying, And I was like,
Okay, but then we're talking about what happened there today. And this woman that she passed away, you said that you guys had yelled at each other 3 or 4 times in about a year and a half to 2 years. Is that right?
yes.
And the last time she yelled at you a lot. Did you ever, I worked as a patrol deputy for years before becoming a detective. Did you guys ever get in like a fight in the street or
No.
anything like that? No, nothing like that.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm sorry.
I gotta ask, because I don't know you that well.
No.
Did she ever brandish a weapon or anything like that, or something?
The only thing she ever did is she picked up the no trespassing sign and threw it at me and hit me.
Okay. And I know that the police came out a lot of times. Did the police ever come out for that time when she threw the sign?
Yeah, and then everybody in the neighborhood said, oh, we didn't see anything.
Okay.
So it was a he said, she said, so they said they couldn't charge anything.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
And obviously you have a firearm. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. Now, is that a gun that you've had for years? Or you just had it for a couple weeks? Help me understand that.
No, over a year.
Okay, over a year. And
Yeah.
where do you normally keep that secured in the house?
That's usually next. It was in a garbage can next to my bed.
Okay. And is it like?
Now, that was the Remington that you're talking about that you got
Remington.
over a year ago?
Yes.
Okay, so when we were at the house, there was the other one,
Yes.
the 22
The
was a
Ruger.
Ruger.
Mhm.
How long have you had that firearm?
A few months.
Just a few months?
Yeah, not very long. And the only reason I did it is because it was so expensive to shoot the Remington.
Oh, with the
So
380
the
rounds were
380, yeah,
expensive,
way
yeah.
more expensive. So I got the little plinker, just target practice and stuff like that.
Are you experienced with firearms? You got 2 guns, and it sounds like you have the little plinker, and you know about the price of ammo. Are you well versed with them?
I used to be terrified of firearms.
Uh-huh.
And then a friend said, you really can't defend yourself. He said, you should think about getting a gun.
Okay.
So,
When did you first get a gun? Was it just, or did you have other guns historically?
no, I never did.
Okay.
I first bought a 9mm, but it was just way too much gun for me, so I sold it.
Uh-huh.
And then I got the little 380.
Okay. And did you go to any kind of training for those using guns, like going to the range, or tell me about that?
Went to the range, watched videos, all the other stuff, self-educating, and I was going to go take a permit to carry course,
Sure.
and I didn't get around to it.
Yeah, okay. So you were self-training yourself, you had plans to do that in the future, but it didn't come to that. So thank you for helping me understand that. And describe to me, AJ, you've only had these arguments with her a few times, but what I'm confused about is that we're talking about her banging on it 3 times, and then there's the pause, and there's everything else you just described in Detective Stitt. And you said that this was the time that she was going to come and kill you. That's confusing to me because it sounds like you guys really didn't have any other times that she was going to come and kill you.
No, she was saying she's going to kill me. I mean, she was verbalizing it. She was saying, I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
That's how, it's not like this is the time she's going to come and kill me. I
So
mean,
I'm trying to get into your
she's-
mind, and I'm trying to be brought to that moment to why you believe that. And we were talking, you were in the bathroom, then you were in the kitchen. I mean, I know that she's saying something, and you're inside your house, and she's on the other side of that wall and that door. Were you able to ever see her, to see if she had anything in her hands?
There's no peephole or anything.
There's no peephole, thanks. Okay. Were you able to look through a window or anything to see if she had anything in her hands or anything? Okay. So you don't know if what's going on, but you can hear her voice.
Yes.
And you said that she's hitting the wall hard enough that, was it the door?
The mirror.
That the mirror is moving?
Yes.
And she's hitting the door?
She's hitting the door.
Okay. And there's no peephole or anything like that. You don't know who all's out there, but you can hear her voice?
Yes.
Okay. What made you shoot that spot on the door? It sounds like you had some experience with the gun, so bring me to that moment where what happened?
I grabbed the gun, I was shaking like a leaf, and the more she pounded, the more she screamed. I was like, stop, 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 go away, move away. She wouldn't move away. Finally, I'm going to kill you, and that was the last time, and I just fired the weapon.
Okay. Was there a spot you picked or something like that?
I just kind of, there was the door, I knew she was at the door. Shot the door.
So since the last time you and I talked, I went in the house, we, did the stuff inside the house as far as photographing, looking at where everything is at related to where the door is. And you said you had shot from the kitchen, so when you come in, it's like
Kitchen
a
table.
kitchen table?
The table that's there, the two seats with the table.
Okay.
That's where I shot from.
That's where you shot from. Okay. Like right next to it,
Yes,
or like further back?
it was, I remember the table being there.
Okay. How were you holding the gun when you fired it?
Like
With
that.
2 hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you were initially in the kitchen when, well, you went to the restroom and then you were in the kitchen looking for your phone while she was pounding on the door. And you said that you believe it was between 2 and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Was that total time from when the first pounding started to the time that you fired the shot, 2 to 5 minutes? Or do you think it was shorter time than that or longer?
To me, it seemed like 2 to 5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes
More,
total.
well, by the time I shot the weapon, at least 5 minutes.
Okay. Did she ever try to open that glass sliding door or open the door handle or anything like that? Or was it just the pounding?
I just remember her pounding and pounding and pounding.
Okay. So you said that you kept the firearm in the trash can in the bedroom, so at some point, did you go?
Yes,
So you thought about it and said, I might need this, or?
absolutely. I mean, I got terrified. I mean, I was so terrified she was going to come in and kill me.
Okay, so you left the kitchen area?
Yes.
And that's when you went to your bedroom?
Yes,
Okay. Where was the other gun at that time, do you know?
I thought it was right there.
The Ruger?
I thought the river was right there.
I mean, we found, yeah, it was, but you said that you used the 380, right?
Yeah.
When you fired the gun? Okay. Is there any reason why you chose that gun aside the other one? They were both loaded, right?
They were both loaded. I was just the one that picked up.
Okay. Did you handle the other gun at all?
I don't remember.
Don't
I honest to God don't remember.
Okay. Because the reason I asked is when we went in there, the 22 was actually on top of the 380. So, I'm just trying to figure out how it is that you went in there, took the 380, fired the 380, went back, and you would have put it back in there, but then the other gun was on top of it. So I'm just trying to figure out if maybe, you're just moving stuff around after things happened or something fell. I'm just trying to understand.
It may have fallen off the bed. I don't know. I just remember looking for my phone, and I just remember I put the gun back in. So, there's all kinds of papers in there, so it could have flip-flopped.
Is that an actual, do you use it for trash, or those important papers that were in there?
Those are papers that I keep.
Okay. All right. So you said it was about, let me ask you this, and maybe this can kind of help us get a better time frame. From the time that you called 911, these kids are on my property again, they're yelling, what happened that first 911 call? That time that you hung up with 911, how long before she showed up and she was pounding on the door after you hung up?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So about 10 minutes after you disconnected and they said, hey, we have deputies on the way, 10 minutes after that is when she started pounding on your door. Okay. And you say anywhere, you believe from 2 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there... And I just want to be clear, 2 to 5 minutes from the first time she pounded to the time where you felt in danger enough to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many times, I know this is, how many times do you think she was hitting your door? during that time frame that you believe is about 2 to 5 minutes?
She just kept pounding it, just kept pounding it and pounding it.
Just
She was
more
screaming.
than 5, more than 50? Like,
God, it had to be, I don't know, I can't even speculate. I just remember her pounding and pounding and screaming and yelling.
okay. And did you call 911 immediately after?
As soon as I found my phone.
Okay. How much time do you think after you fired the shot?
A few seconds.
So within
I'd
a
say
minute?
within a
And you
minute, yes.
immediately called
Yes.
911? Did you call anyone else before?
No,
Did you call anyone else after?
no, I don't think so, because you guys were here. I mean, you guys came right away,
Okay.
so.
Okay. So we're just trying to figure out where some of these, we heard that you said the F word and the B word. These are what the kids are saying that
I
day.
definitely dropped F-bombs.
Okay, and what are you saying the F word to?
Pick your fucking shit up.
Referring to stuff on the ground or
Yeah.
something?
Mhm.
And when we say, sure. Okay. So Detective Stith has been talking to you about the timeline, okay? And some of the work we've done. Now, this is a picture that I drew. I am not an artist at all, but when I tell you some of the work we've done, we spoke to all the people over. This is your house, by the way. Okay, this is. We'll put an S for you.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke to everybody in these buildings. We spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras, they hear things. We're able to hear audio. We're able to hear things like that. And everyone when we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. We lined up, well, we didn't line them up. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed in different buildings, in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking. Okay, because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that. Okay. She made a statement, something to the effect of, why'd you take my kid's iPad? Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know
Yeah.
what this iPad is
A
about.
tablet or something like that? Did you-
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was
Sure.
never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Was
what
she,
the hell-
maybe she's wrong, but was she asking you about a tablet or accusing you of something with a tablet or an iPad? I don't know if it's an iPad or a tablet.
Could've,
She could have?
could've.
Okay, you seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's saying these things. The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
Yeah.
That's not reasonable.
One of the people
and
said that she said, "Come outside."
That's not, I'm sorry.
Come
That's
on.
not what?
prudent. It's not reasonable and prudent. I mean,
Oh.
you just don't, bang and expect someone to come out. Yeah, I think I'll come outside so
Right.
you can,
Well, I know.
I mean, seriously.
What she's learned, what I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet. No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
I just remember being terrified that she was banging and screaming, and I just remember hearing her say, "I'm going to kill you." Her son, earlier in the night, before I called the police, I don't know how old he is, but he said, "I'm going to make sure you get killed tonight."
Which son? She has two sons.
I know. I remember. It was one of her sons, but he was there. He's like, "I'm going to make sure you get killed. I'm going to make sure that you know." I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Has this person ever shown you a weapon or anything like that?
No, but I mean, the little kid said it, and then all of a sudden his mom's coming over and she's banging and screaming, and
Now I asked you this earlier. You said you can't see out there, but you've only seen her a few times.
Mhm.
What means does she have to harm you through the wall?
like I said, she was banging so much, everything was shaking and moving.
Now that house,
Which I couldn't believe because it's a cement block house.
that was my next question. So it's a cement block house, and the door, the deadbolt was activated, right?
The deadbolt was
Okay.
activated, right? And you
I
just didn't
don't-
have the chain lock?
I was gonna say, I remember I didn't have the chain, I'm not quite sure if I had the deadbolt on or not.
Okay. I believe the last time we talked, you said you had the deadbolt, but you didn't want to get back close to the door to do the chain, is from what I recall. And you said you had the extra long deadbolt just installed, what was it, recently?
Charles did it.
Okay, Charles.
So that's what so the deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
When we had spoken previously on the other time when she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced, I said, whatever you want, I'm so sorry. She followed me a foot behind me up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, she gave me the creeps.
What happened during that incident where she followed you? What was the conversation?
She
that
said, oh,
time?
you called my kids, I think a nigger and a slave or something stupid like that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I finally said, I'm going to leave this alone. I don't need, to get killed in the street.
Did she tell you if she had recordings of you saying that?
I have
Or
no
like
idea.
one of the kids?
I have no idea.
But you apologized and she continued to follow you anyway?
Yeah, she followed me anyway.
How far did she follow you?
Like right up to where I go in by the wood.
By the fence?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
She finally just went away.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was like a month or two ago.
Okay. And was that an incident dealing with, she had the dog and the kids were over there?
No.
No, that was something different?
That was something different.
Okay. And I think that was, I want to say, was it April? Does that sound right with you had called because, again, the kids were over there, the dog was over there? Does that sound about right? Okay, but that was a different incident.
Yeah, it was
than
a
what you're
different
talking-
incident, yes.
And where were you at when you had that conversation where she started following you? Where were you?
I was in the street.
Okay. Like by the mailboxes or
No, I was close to her driveway.
close to her driveway? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did she make any threats of physical violence to you then?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
She was following you and that made you feel creepy, right? Or creeped you out, I think is the word you said?
Yeah.
Okay, but there wasn't any threats of physical violence then. And you said,
But why would you, if the conversation is over, why would you still pursue someone? I mean, to me.
Was she still saying things? Was she still?
No,
talking?
she just
She
followed
just
me,
followed
and
you.
I just felt like, at any point in time, she could knock me down and do something, and I was like, oh my God. And I didn't want to tangle with her anymore.
and was it only her kid that you called a slave, or was there other kids in the
I
neighborhood?
never called anyone a slave.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Never.
thought you said
No,
sorry for it.
I said I'm sorry for it because I didn't know how else to diffuse the situation.
Okay, so you told her that you did say that, but you're saying that you were saying it to diffuse the situation?
Yes, absolutely.
So have you ever called any of those kids?
So, Susan, I'm looking at this from the outside here, and this really is not adding up to me. You used the word reasonable and prudent earlier. That's an interesting series of words to use. That's like a series of words that we use as law enforcement officers when we try to look at things. And there's a big jump here that you're making logically I can't seem to make the jump. I'm having a really hard time getting there. You've known this woman for 1.5 to 2 years. Your only communications were 2 to 3 times. The dog's pooping, and then there was another time where you called her, you said, I'm sorry about calling your kids some names, and she followed behind you. You thought that was creepy. She's never threatened you. She's never displayed a firearm towards you. She starts yelling on your patio area, banging hard on your door, which your door is locked, and then you're scared. Now you're saying that you're scared, which, okay, I can get to that. I can get to that point that you're scared. There's someone knocking on your door.
No, it wasn't knocking, it was pounding.
Pounding. There's someone pounding on your door. Right. There's someone pounding on your door. They're pounding on your door, and I can't get to the point where pounding on the door leads to you being hurt or killed. I can't get
Because
that.
I
Help me
thought she
get
was going to
there.
break the door down. The door, you could see that it was all repaired and re-repaired and all that crap like that, so I never felt that door was secure.
you have an extended deadbolt, and you've never been in any kind of violent situation where someone's kicked in your door or like Kool-Aid Man through your entire wall. There has not been that situation. So I'm trying to do the reasonable and prudent. I'm trying to come into your shoes there, and I'm having a hard jump there because describe to me, AJ, what does she look like?
Tall black woman, heavy set,
Okay. Does she have a very muscular? You've only known her for a year and a half. You only had so many communications. I mean, is she like a muscular person that's able to, like, I don't know, do extreme feats of strength? Does she weight train in her front yard? Help me understand this.
No, I don't.
That's what I'm trying. I'm having a hard time with
He's
this.
not being facetious, he's just trying to understand how we got from the point of someone.
And I don't see how that is entire. Were you on alcohol or anything like? I gotta ask these questions. Were there anything in your mind that would impair yourself in your judgments?
I took Belbuca earlier in the day.
What is that?
It was for my back.
Okay, is that a narcotic?
Yes.
I'm not a muscle relax. I'm guessing here.
No, it's a pain reliever.
Okay, it's a pain reliever.
Mm-hmm.
And does that have like something on the bottle that it would?
It's a film.
Okay. Does that like don't use motor vehicles or something like that? What does it do to you? How does it make you feel?
It just makes me sleepy.
It's called, what is it called?
Belbuca.
Belbuca.
B-E-L-B-U-C-A.
Okay.
Does that have to do with your artery issue in your kidney?
No, I had a car wreck. So I had a fusion in my lower back. I'm sorry, fusion in my neck, and then laminectomy in my lower back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got this thing that goes backwards. So I have some issues.
Okay.
And I have a torn rotator cuff.
Okay. And do you have issues with any kind of previous, from the car accident, I have to ask, a head injury which would impair your memory or affect your memory or anything like that?
I don't remember. I think I hit my head on the steering wheel from the accident.
Okay. Do you suffer time and spatial memory issues where you can't remember a certain amount of time and things like that? And the reason that I ask that is you have indicated that this was somewhere between like 5 to 10 minutes or something. Am I getting that right, Detective Stiff? Okay. From the cameras that we've looked at in the area here, this incident did not last for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, from the people that we spoke to, there's aspects of this that I can agree about. She's talking loud. She's banging on that door. We're going to agree with that. But the actual number of knocks, you did 3 knocks, and then you said there was a pause.
I never said 3.
Well, you said bang, 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 and then she stopped, which I counted 3. Now,
okay.
If there was something different, you can tell me. I'm just I was remembering earlier. You said bang, bang, bang. There was 3. Then she stopped, and then she continued to, and then what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing has led me to believe as an investigator that it was like 5 to 10 minutes, okay?
Okay, maybe it just seemed like it was longer.
Okay.
Probably because, the adrenaline rush and just getting so upset.
Sure. Whenever adrenaline comes in, it can make things seem like they stretch out. From some of the other statements we've got, some of the things that we've learned, it sounds more like there was 3 knocks and then there was 3 more and then she was shot. It sounds like this was very quick. It sounds like this was like within a span of less than 20 seconds is what I would say. Is it possible that your time is off on this?
Could be.
Okay.
Because to me it felt like forever.
Okay.
So
if this is like what's being described as a 20-second, this is a brief encounter. It's a brief encounter with loud banging, with loud yelling. The statements that some of the statements that you're saying occurred, like I'm going to kill you and those kind of threats. No one else has heard you. No one else has heard her make those statements. Okay. In your head, are you not sure about some of the things we've talked about today? Regarding some of the things you're saying that you heard, is it possible she never threatened you at all?
No, I swear to God, I thought she said, "I'm going to kill you." I mean, that's why I just panicked. As soon as those words came out of her mouth, I was like, Jesus Christ, she's going to kill me.
Okay. And how did you imagine yourself being killed? Remembering that there's that block wall and that door, how was she going to be able to do that? What makes you think that she was able to do that?
She was still pounding, but that she could have come right through that glass wall. I mean, the glass door.
Well, we talked about pounding on the door. Did she ever pound on the glass wall? Is it a window or wall? Help me.
It's doors. It's sliders.
Glass sliding door.
Yeah.
She pound on that?
She may have. I don't know. All I kept thinking is she's going to gain entry and she's going to kill me.
And that's why I asked you earlier if you recalled if she tried to. Was that door locked? The sliding glass door?
Yeah.
Was that safe? Do you have like anything?
I had think there was a wood piece in there.
In the slider?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't recall if she tried that door?
I just remember lots of pounding.
Lots of pounding.
You know, just, to me, it was just an enormous amount of pounding, screaming, yelling, and, you know, I felt like she was gonna come through that door.
And I think Detective Pender touched on it, like, in your head, what, you know, during the panic, during all these thoughts, what did you feel that was gonna happen?
And she's gonna come in there and beat the shit out of me until I was dead.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I felt. I mean, I don't understand why she came over my house. If there was all these issues and problems, why didn't you just call somebody? You know, that's, to me, that's what you would do if you're normal. You know, that's a normal thing to do. If something happens to me, I call the police, you know. You know, like, okay, you know, the kids are being run or she's banging and, you know, but when I couldn't find my phone and everything, I was just like, shit. You know, I honestly, I felt she was going to kill me.
Okay, so during that time, you had hung up with 911, you still estimate approximately 10 minutes before the banging started.
Yes.
And then you saying anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes or longer that the banging and the yelling lasted. However, as Detective Pender mentioned, we've reviewed video, we've talked to multiple people out there who all kind of give the similar, I mean, everybody's perspective is different, and that's why I asked you this same question a couple of times, because people's perspectives, we could be both looking at the same thing, and later on you asked me you asked us the same question, we have different reactions, different answers, because we focus on different things, we remember different things. That's why everybody's unique, and that's just the way it is. But to be that similar in some of the specifics of what we're really looking at, we're talking about a very tight, a much more tighter time frame of this incident that happened at your front door before that shot was fired. So is that possible? Is that feasible that it was a shorter time frame?
To me, it felt, I mean, I'm giving you what I felt and what I thought it was.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Now that you're out of the moment, I mean, do you think that she could somehow get through that wall now that you're out, now that you're not in the house anymore, and that
I
you
still feel that fear. I just still feel she was coming at me. I'm sorry. It's what I feel.
okay?
I've just, you know, it's been playing in my head over and over again, and I just kept thinking of that and how terrified I was.
Was your goal to shoot and kill her?
No,
What was your goal?
to shoot and hopefully, you know, she'd hear the shot and dissipate.
But you took aim at the door, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And the goal was to strike the door and to dissipate it. I'm having a really hard time making this jump here that this unarmed person on the other side of the wall is somehow gonna get into your house and kill you. I'm just really having a hard time getting there. Some of these doors open inwards, outwards. I don't know which way your door opens. Which way does it open? It opens outward?
I think it opens out.
Okay. So
It
opens inwards.
It opens inwards.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm really having a hard time understanding, like, how if you could go back in time, would you not do what you did? Would you take it back and I don't know, wait however long it took for the police to get there? I'm trying to understand that. Do you feel like you did something wrong here?
I did what I felt I had to. I honestly thought she was going to kill me. I mean, that's all I felt. I just felt that terror. I mean, it was sheer terror.
So I went out to the house that morning, you know, when I met you out there. And first of all, I looked at the door. We processed the door just to see what areas might have been touched by AJ. I looked at the door frame where it had been repaired. It looked like there was a type of putty or something used where the wood frame had been separated. I examined the deadbolt lock. The strike plates were in there pretty fastened, pretty securely. The bottom lock, just the doorknob lock. And even with the door closed, I stood on the outside. There were no indentations, no dents in the door anywhere that I could see. And I'm not trying to take away the fears of being scared and everything, because I think that is a legitimate, scary situation to be put in. But to justify to go from being scared to a point where you're taking deadly force on someone who's standing on the other side of the door and you don't even know where you're shooting at. That's a big jump, and I think that's where Detective Pender's.
It could have been one of the kids standing there or something.
But it was her standing there. I mean, I heard her voice.
Sure, but some people don't talk. They're
But-
more quiet. So you've never had a break-in there before, right?
No.
Okay, no break-ins there. There's the rod in the track. Did you have? I know that you still spoke to this woman 2 or 3 times before. Did you speak to her earlier that day on Friday?
No.
Okay, so you didn't talk to her earlier that day, Friday. There wasn't. Did you have any conflicts with anybody in particular on Friday at all?
Just the kids when they well, it wasn't a conflict. I just told them, come on, stop trespassing. Move along. Take it. The kids kept putting things out. They had marbles by my truck. They put their skates out. I tripped over the skate one morning that I had to leave very early, and I'm like, crap. And I'm like, stop leaving your freaking toys here. I'm not the most stable person, with my knees and stuff like that. So when I'm walking, if I fall again, who the hell knows what's going to happen between my back and my knees and the other injury. And I don't understand why they just keep leaving their crap there, And I'm like, it's
That sounds frustrating.
It's extraordinarily frustrating.
You said there was a skate. Was there something that happened with the skate on Friday?
When the kids were there, yeah, they keep leaving the skates really close to the house. I'm like, stop already, because when you go around and you do stuff and you're bringing packages in, sometimes I bring the truck up. I'm like, I'm going to walk over your skates and shit. I'm like, pick your damn shit up. So
where were those skates when you picked them up?
I'm going to say they were maybe 5-6 feet of the sidewalk.
On the grass?
Yes.
Okay. And you took a photograph of that with your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And there was a video at some point. It looked like you were taking a picture or a video through the screen from you being inside
Yes.
to them outside. Because it looked like there was a bunch of them kind of further out in the field, but there was a lot of kids playing out there. And I
It
guess
was the screaming. You heard
Yeah,
how much
yeah.
they were screaming over the TV.
Okay, so when you went out there, and one of AJ's kids was out there, and this is around the time frame where you threw the skates out into the yard or something
Yes.
like that. But this is also that was what was reported to us from a few people.
Yes.
But also during that time frame was where that tablet situation came up. So is there
I
any
don't
reason?
know what this tablet thing is.
It's like an Amazon tablet, electronic tablet.
I never saw the tablet, never. He kept saying, where's my tablet, where's my tablet? I had
Oh, so he did ask you
Oh, yeah.
about it, but you didn't have it.
Of course not.
So you never.
I
moved
never
or
saw
picked
it,
up?
never picked it, never touched it up, nothing.
Why would he make that part up if?
I have no idea.
Because he said, and it really doesn't change.
Doesn't change.
It doesn't change anything.
Helps
I'm just trying to
understand
understand. He said that he was going to the basketball courts after they played in the field. And he's like, I forgot my tablet, and he comes over and he sees you holding it, and he
I
says,
never,
put
no,
it down.
no.
And you kind of tossed it down, and then that's when you threw the skates, and one of them hit him in the toe or the foot
No.
or something like that.
No, because they were standing here and I threw it with my left hand.
Okay.
I made sure that I just threw them over to the other side. Never
And that's
touched
when you
each
told
other.
him to fetch or something?
Yes.
You told him to
I
fetch
said, you can
it?
go fetch it over there now.
Okay.
Because he said, give me my skates.
Mhm.
Get your skates. I'm like, here, go get them.
You already had them in your hand at that point? Or
I
he said,
think
give them
so.
to you? Okay. What were you going to do with them?
Just throw them on the other side. Just get them away.
But you don't remember the tablet or anything
It
like
was
that?
never I never saw a tablet, never touched a tablet, I don't know where the hell the tablet came from. So I have no idea.
And then the situation with the umbrella, I know we had talked about it a little bit before, but do you remember who that was out there when, was that when, excuse me, was that when the older, AJ's older came over? What was he saying to you?
That's when he has said, I said, you guys need to leave. He said, I don't need to leave. I can be anywhere I want. I have, I forget what the hell he said. Just something to the effect that I have no limits where I can go. I'm like, okay.
Okay, but he wasn't the one that was there when you tossed the roller skates into the yard? It was the other child?
It
Or do
should
you
have been
remember?
both boys.
Were they both there with the
I'm
roller
gonna
skate
say,
thing?
yeah.
Okay, so when you came out, the umbrella that was behind your door, was that the
Mhm.
one?
Yes.
Okay, and what exactly happened with that? Because That's another one of those things where we were talking to people who were right there, kind of, they already heard some yelling and back and forth, so they're kind of watching, and
They've been talking with my hands, so,
swinging the umbrella.
yeah, just, come on, guys, leave, and
Okay.
gesturing. So
How far away were they when you were doing this,
Oh
and
my
where do you
gosh.
think you were at?
I remember being on the sidewalk, and then they were at least 5-7 feet away from me.
Okay.
They weren't even close.
What did they do when you were swinging it around?
Nothing.
They didn't do
No,
anything?
there was no reaction.
They didn't say anything? They didn't back away?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay.
It didn't rain on Friday. Why did you have an
I
umbrella?
thought it was raining. We had precip, and I thought when the kids got quiet that it rained finally and they went home.
So that's why you had the umbrella out?
Yes.
So it sounds like there's a lot of things going on with the kids that day. It sounds like you're taking videos. It sounds like the skates are in the way. You had to throw those because she says, "Give me the skates." You throw the skates, and then you're swinging the umbrella because they're not getting away. There's a lot going on with the kids. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Are the kids yelling that day?
Oh, they were screaming and yelling.
Screaming and yelling. Okay. It sounds like there was things going on with them, and then one of the kids' moms comes up to your house and knocks on the door. Is that right? Did she say what she was knocking on the door about? I don't remember if we covered that.
With AJ?
Yes, AJ. Was it about the umbrella, the skates, or something different? Because there's
I
a
want to
lot.
speak to you because you're talking to my sons. I don't like the way you're talking to my sons.
Okay, so she bangs on the door and she wants to, because we've talked about all the things that happened that day. She's banging on the door and she wants to address you regarding how you're talking to her sons.
Yes.
And there's already been that prior incident in the 2 or 3 times that you guys met, and one of those times it was you're talking to her sons and you're saying like racial things like that, racial
I
slurs.
didn't say racial slurs.
She said that you did.
She said that
Okay.
I did.
So it sounds like she has a reason that she wants to talk to you, and she's banging on your door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she's enraged, she's screaming, she's not acting to me what would be like a normal, average, everyday, reasonable person. I mean, to me, that was someone who was really angry.
You're for certain that when you went to retrieve your gun, that's where you keep it in that trash can, that's where it was at? I'm sorry, did you remember
No,
what you were thinking about?
I
I didn't ask you this before, but I saw inside you have like it's almost a home office set up.
Mhm.
Do you work from home?
Yes.
You do? So you're all pretty much, you're always there and you're always
Yes.
having to be
Mm-hmm.
susceptible to whatever
Exactly.
they do.
Well, I kind of want to go through my notes real quick,
Mhm.
make sure that we covered everything. We covered a lot of things. Can I get you another water or anything while I go
fine.
through this?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let me go through the notes and make sure we didn't miss anything here. And we'll be right back in.
Is there anything else that you need right now? Use the restroom or anything?
Yeah.
Use the restroom? Okay, give me just one second.
Make
Make sure the
walking down the hall so
restroom's
you don't get
clear.
lost. Okie dokie.
Were you looking to go to the bathroom?
Yes.
All right, so while we were in there going over everything, and my supervisor came in, he's actually kind of been listening a little. And something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned terminology like reasonable and prudent in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from, that terminology? Is that
Watching TV.
watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows? Okay. And I have to ask you this, is, have you done any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
I looked at it today.
You looked at it
That when
today?
I was on Facebook, just some things that, they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you, specifically, what you were reading about and learning about?
They said self-defense, and I'm trying to think of what else I looked at today. crap, mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So, prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground now.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because I know every state has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. I thought it was Florida.
Okay. And when was that?
A couple years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean other than, basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking about like a couple years ago. We're talking about within the last few months, would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if you know, we take a look at those things, because we did go through your phone, the judge signed an order for us to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or self-defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know, I look up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been, I don't know.
Okay.
I look up, I
And
just,
the
when I
reason
read
I ask is
articles,
I'm
I
trying
just
to-
go and see why the laws were, so I want to know why, like if they have an article, what happened in the situation, what,
Well, Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay? And the reason is...
Oh, hell no. No, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely
This is
not.
not a
No.
situation where you set something up
No.
because you were
No.
tired of this person, you were
No.
tired of the situation that they put you
Absolutely
in.
no.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
Okay, so while I was out there going through the notes and everything, I went through, so when someone calls 911, as soon as that call goes to our communication center, it logs it, gives us a timestamp. Hour, minute, second, from the very first time that call was received to the time that it's disconnected, okay? And that's for every single time someone calls. So the first time when you called 911, talking about the boys out there trespassing and things of that. So that call started at 8:54 p.m. Does that sound about right?
Yes. I really wasn't looking at the clock
Okay.
right here. I just remember calling.
That's what time it says on our call center. And that call lasted for 5 minutes and it disconnected.
Okay.
At 8:59, deputies are on the way.
Okay.
Okay. Now you estimated that it was approximately 10 minutes after you disconnected until the AJ started pounding on your door. Is that correct? Is that
Yes.
what? Okay. So the second 911 call where you called, lady was banging on my door, I shot her through the door. That call came into our call center. It was received at 9:01, which is 2 minutes after you hung up with the communication center the first time. So that's
Okay.
2 minutes that all these things that you say occurred happened at your front door. From
Okay.
pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding, I'm gonna kill you, all these things. Within 2 minutes, she showed up at your front door and did all these things to the time that you pulled the trigger, went and found your phone, and then called 911. So, and that's why I'm trying to get...
To me, it seemed like that amount of time. That's why I thought it was that amount of time.
Well, so clearly we've established that that was not true, that,
Okay,
that's not the
understood.
case, but that's what you felt it was.
It
So
felt
you
like
also
that.
told me that that's what you heard, that she was
Yes.
going to kill you. Is it possible that she did not say that, and that's what you heard or you believed, just like you believed it was 10 minutes between those calls?
I just thought she said, I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's what I heard. That's why I was so in fear of my life. I was like, Jesus Christ, and she's pounding on my door. She's going to break in. She's going to kill me.
But is it a possibility, if you believe that there was 10 minutes to 15 minutes, adding in 10 minutes before it started, and then approximately another 5 minutes on top of that, that you believe that 2 minutes was 15 minutes, was it a possibility that maybe you thought you heard that, but it wasn't that what she actually said?
I have no idea. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm telling you what I heard.
But I can tell you right now, what we've learned, what we've discussed all leading up to this, it doesn't make any sense. So this is your opportunity to actually tell us that something that does make sense. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to get mad. But whenever AJ was coming over that evening, what happened? What happened? Bring me to that moment when you had the gun in your hand. What were you thinking?
All I wanted her was to go away. I was just, I felt she was going to come through that door and kill me. I'm sorry, that's what I felt. I just felt she was going to come through the door and kill me.
Okay.
It was a tremendous fear. I mean,
Did you
it's
feel
terrible.
bad for what happened?
Oh, Christ, yes.
Do you? Because the first time that we talked, there was a point where I informed you that AJ had passed away. And I wasn't sure if you'd been aware of that or not. I know they transported her in an ambulance
Yes.
from there.
No, I saw them doing CPR.
Yeah. So when I informed you of that, you showed emotion. You showed what appeared to me to be at least somewhat of a remorse for what had happened. So do you feel bad for what had happened?
Absolutely.
Do you feel bad for the children?
Christ, yes.
So, and I think, Detective Pender we're trying to give you the opportunity to try to explain some of these discrepancies in the story, the things that don't really add up or make sense. And you maintaining that you were in fear for your life.
Yes.
It just doesn't make sense. And I feel like at this point, today you really haven't, and I'm not judging you, everybody processes things differently, so I understand that. But you haven't really seemed remorseful for today, at least, for what had happened.
Oh, God. It just makes me sick. I don't know I can't take it back. It's transpired. It's in the past. I don't know what the hell to do. It's just probably me shutting down again.
Okay. Do you think that's a trauma response or something? I know you said you had gone through a lot of
Probably.
flat
because
affect and things like that
I don't
in
know
the
what
past.
the hell. I mean, it's a horrible situation.